Welcome to Gun News Review. The NRA says it's a big win for Second Amendment rights. On Tuesday, a federal appeals court in Los Angeles ruled that the Second Amendment protects the right of open carry for self-defense. Justices of the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled 2-1 that Hawaii officials had violated George Young's rights when he was denied a permit to openly carry a loaded gun in public to protect himself. The ruling was in response to an earlier lower court ruling that the amendment only applies to guns kept in homes. One justice said the appeals court doesn't take Hawaii's gun violence problem lightly, but for better or worse, the Second Amendment does protect the right to carry a firearm in public for self-defense. Florida Democrats are urging Governor Rick Scott to launch an independent investigation into the state's concealed weapons permit program. The request follows a June report that the Department of Agriculture, which oversees the program, stopped reviewing background checks of people who applied between February 2016 and March 2017 because an employee couldn't log into a computer to get them. Governor Scott had said he's considering a request for an independent investigation, but Democrats say his concerns are only platitudes and he needs to act. In Illinois, a large number of counties are fighting back at efforts to pass more gun legislation by declaring themselves safe spaces and sanctuary cities. The effort is aimed at pro-gun law legislators, including Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel. A total of 30 counties across Illinois have so far passed so-called gun sanctuary resolutions, which are basically symbolic. But the effort has become increasingly popular in rural areas outside of Chicago. The Chicago Tribune says the counties are sending a message that if the Democratic-controlled legislature continues to pass gun restrictions, the counties may bar their employees from enforcing the new laws. Following a mass shooting that left 3 people dead, including the gunman, the Toronto City Council has voted overwhelmingly to approve a motion asking the Canadian government to outlaw handguns. The motion also asks for a civilian ban on so-called assault rifles and semi-automatic guns. Mayor John Tory has been pushing for a handgun ban, and after a day-long discussion regarding a response to recent gun-involved incidents, Tory told the Toronto Sun that people in the city don't need handguns. The council also backed a motion introduced by Tory to ask the federal government to make the penalties for gun trafficking stricter. Texas Governor Dan Patrick has rejected suggestions that the state enact so-called red flag laws. The laws, which have been passed by several other states, allows authorities to temporarily confiscate firearms if the owner is deemed to be in danger to others or themselves. Patrick says he will battle any effort to pass such a measure, saying he's never supported the policies. His comments follow testimony to a Senate committee appointed by Patrick on how to make Texas public schools safer and the need for the red flag law. You're listening to Gun News Review. Cabela's is being sued for allegedly allowing a straw purchase. The lawsuit claims Cabela's was negligent for selling a gun to a woman who then gave it to her boyfriend, who wasn't legally allowed to own a gun. The firearm was then used to kill a 19-year-old mother in a 2016 drive-by shooting in Wilmington, Delaware. The lawsuit alleges the purchasers showed clear signs that the Wilmington Cabela's knew or should have known that a straw purchase was underway and did nothing to stop the sale. The suit was filed on behalf of the victim's family and also names Bass Pro Group. And a San Antonio shooting range employee is in good condition at a hospital after he was shot by a fellow employee during some kind of training incident. Authorities say 28-year-old David Lopez was working at the Mission Ridge Range and Academy in Chavano Park when he was shot. Police say their investigation is ongoing, but they believe the shooting was accidental and don't expect any charges to be brought. You've been listening to Gun News Review, comprehensive and concise.